My Father and I.
Yeah.
What was your relationship like with your dad growing up?
With my dad, it was funny. At first it was very, he was a very strict disciplinarian.
Okay.
Yeah, I was the last born, and my dad had a system of whereby a respect of hierarchy. So you had to respect the one right above you, who had more authority than the one above them. Above that. So you can imagine what it was like. Yeah, you can imagine what it was like being at the bottom. But I'll never forget one of my youth pastors. His name is Johan Richter, and he was talking about how he says, you know, as young people, you reach that age where you're like, your parents don't understand you. Because my parents, my dad, mom and dad were very strict about, you know, where to hang out and whatnot. You couldn't just sleep over. It was like going for a sleepover. It was like, oh, let their parents call us. So we always felt like we're missing out. Then he told me, like, Johan was like, listen, why don't you go home and stop waiting for your parents to reach out to you? Like, why don't my parents, you know, why don't they hang out? Why don't they have fun? I said, sometimes your parents get caught up being parents, that they, you know, maybe it's up to you to have a good time with them. So I deliberately started hugging my dad more, you know, telling him I love him more.
Okay.
And our relationship at that point just changed. You know, we realized we had so much in common. We had so many things that we enjoyed. We would watch our favorite TV shows together. And I think that's what that was one of the most beautiful things about my relationship with my dad. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think yeah, I think having you, even you know, in the training session was really good. That's the kind of person that you are. You know, like you really hold the corner for somebody. You push the best. You always believe the best in people. Why is that, man?
Yeah, that's God-given, I think. I believe if anything, if progress is going to be made, you have to do the most you can. You can't expect to get the best if you didn't put everything in there.
Yeah. I was talking earlier on where I was saying about how everything that you always say, you always say it from a deep place. I think that's what's rubbed off on me sometimes.
Because I had to drop that Mike DeBoer voice, you know what I mean? But
you're the first. I don't know if I would have pursued music if it wasn't for you. You took me to the first studio, and then it was, you know, when one of the things was when we were growing. I think when we came back from the States, and that whole dad's political time, and you know, his job ending. We went through some tough times, but we had some good times.
Yeah.
As long as we had a tape recorder.
That was the beginning of doing art, and I think a lot of people don't understand. I know Superman has those, and I think Chameleon had those tapes we did.
Yeah.
Flying Fists of the Red-Eyed Buddha.
we would make recordings of this character called the Red-Eyed Buddha, who would go around fighting people, but the catch was that everyone all his enemies were people in our neighborhood. Who we knew. And we used their nicknames.
Yeah. We gave them nicknames.
Hey, man. Yeah, but it was so much like we had so little, but we had so much.
My Father and I.